to our resolutions. Seeing that we have two resolutions, but we do not have the consent agenda. So I guess we'll do it resolution by resolution. So we are on resolution 250097. What's the pleasure of the
Through the
body?
chair.
Madam Chair.
Through the chair.
Was that you, Madam Clerk?
Either way, I just wanted to say, it doesn't have to be noted on there. You can still vote on a consent agenda. So you still have that ability, if that's your pleasure.
Say that one more.
I'm saying even though it isn't noted on the agenda, you can still make a motion to vote on a consent agenda, if that's the council's pleasure.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Also, through the chair,
Did you just say something else, Madam Clerk?
I did. Councilwoman Lewis, Attorney Gurley, you've lost quorum.
Okay, well, council she's still within the chambers.
Point of order.
What is your point?
The city attorney stated we lost quorum, and we did. I mean, we lost quorum. It's very clear. So this meeting is going to have to be adjourned.
This meeting is not, so we will remain at ease until quorum
Okay,
is
well, you know what?
established.
I'm not going to break the rules because I'm getting ready. You making up the rules. It clearly states you're not taking.
Ms.
Excuse me,
Burns.
Point of order.
Ms.
I'm talking.
Burns.
Point of order.
Ms. Burns, you did not have the floor. You were
I'm
not
saying
recognized to
point of
have the
order.
floor.
You're not even into the meeting yet.
We are into the meeting, Ms.
Okay,
Burns.
you know what? I'm not doing
Ms.
this.
Burns, again, all right, that is fine. You may leave the meeting. That is
I don't
fine.
need permission.
That is
You
fine.
need to leave
Ms. Burns,
Point of order.
what is your point?
Can we wait for Ms. Gurley to research it, please?
Pardon?
Can we wait for Ms. Gurley to research it?
Can-
To research it.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm clear that it's in Robert's rules, and we've done this several times, so it's fine, we can wait. But if she leaves, then we will lose quorum, so we just end the meeting, so she's looking for reason to go.
President, I do stand corrected. As long as under 5.6, once a quorum has convened, quorum is not lost as long as sufficient numbers are present in the council chambers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so with that being said, we will wait for Councilman Mashat, because we said the council body want to stand at ease, and we invite Councilwoman Burns to return to her seat, hearing that we did not lose quorum and that we still can proceed with our meeting. So, like Councilwoman Burns is deciding to leave, so we can't handle the business. So we still have quorum. We still have two members in the back of the chambers. All right, so Councilwoman Burns has decided to leave the meeting after hearing that the attorney said that we did not lose quorum. So therefore, this special meeting is adjourned at 5:33.
Okay.
And the next meeting will be budget hearings chaired by Ms. Priestley, the finance chair.
And for the audience, this is considered a separate meeting, so you will need to fill out speaker slips. Yep, so you'll just need to fill out another speaker slip for this meeting. This is a second meeting for the day.
That's the one snake right there before. Cause she's coming this way. I know that's right. I guess you heard that about New York. She's still walking up on us. I mean, they do, America. We're gonna still get our money. If Mr. Boyd got there from last week, wow. Hey, tell about 4 hours. Come. Now deal with this. See, this America, the red roosters in the house calling. Keep it going everywhere.
She's still in the building.
Take care of it, Dr. All right.
I think we can probably go ahead and, but let me just check the agenda again to make sure we don't have any time. Is there anything with the time on it? With the clock? I'll let you know for sure. Brilliant. Know how to do that.
So do we need to maintain the? So we gotta.
You know, we should have. Thank you, because I stood here and done that for 30 more minutes. So these mics unfortunately don't talk. I was telling them I would try to mute the mics as you speak, but it's kind of hard. So, but I'll see if I can do that. I'm just doing the slideshow. Oh, okay. So let me move this out of here. soon as Davina's ready. Huh? I like your glasses. Are these new? I've had these a while, but you just, I don't wear them very often. I wear them for music. In my music bag. Whenever you're ready, Davina. Huh? Little asshole. Oh, my mic was on. Okay. The time is 5:46, and I hereby call this special council meeting for the budget to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alameda is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Present.
Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Mashat?
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Present.
Mr. Jarrett is not in. You have 5 members present.
We have 5 members present. Mr. Pfeiffer, will you do the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Hicks has agreed to give the blessing.
Point of order. I'm just asking, the agenda was posted for special city council meetings.
It's on the agenda.
No, I get that. But how are you chair?
Because it's finance. Because it's
Since
budget.
when?
It's budget, that's why.
Okay, I mean,
Okay.
that's just,
Go ahead, Pastor Hicks.
Let us stop. Most holy and righteous God, our Father, Lord, we come now to first say thank you for all of your many bountiful blessings. Father, I ask that you bless this time that we have come together. Father God, that wisdom, knowledge, and respect will prevail. Father God, that things can be dealt with, cleared, and agreed upon in a timely fashion with the utmost respect one for the other. As you bless now, oh Father God, that your people who are called by your name, as we will humble ourselves unto your guiding hand, direct us as we come together to take care of the business at hand. In Jesus' name, Father, we pray, and we say, amen.
Amen. We do have reading of disorderly person subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 3110, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. I have an agenda change, and that is addition of the presentation of the budget for the mayor. Mr. Mayor, and this will be before the public hearing. It's all yours. Thank you.
thank you.
What's your point?
We're at a council meeting.
Okay, I make the motion. Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Alameda is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett is not in. Vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
that agenda change passes. Now, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And good evening to council members, and thank you for sharing this time with us. It's another blessed moment before us. Today we introduce our sixth consecutive balanced budget. And this is the strongest budget of the six that we have introduced. We have moved from crisis to recovery inside the city of Flint, and this budget gives us a good opportunity to continue to move the community forward. But we definitely have to move together in a level of harmony and unity for this community. And so with that, we're going to get started with this budget presentation, and then we'll go over some opportunities in our budget reviews and our budget hearings to be able to go with a deeper dive to see if we can further perfect this outstanding and strong budget of the city of Flint. Review and overview. One of the things that people don't understand, and we have to be able to educate them up, and I know all of you do, but the way we finance our community is definitely by definitely streams of revenue that comes in every year. Some of those revenue streams that supports our municipality and the services therein is property taxes, income taxes, state revenue sharing, grants, and philanthropic giving. Those are the foundations and the pillars in which our finances are set up on and structured on. The city of Flint is one of 33 units of government inside of Genesee County. Being the largest unit of government with the most population here in the county, we have a great responsibility to provide a service for residents that's increasing the level of quality of life for them and their family to be here. This is some of the taxable value here inside the city of Flint, and these are slides when we take a look at the taxable value and what is going on, the tax yield, and also parcel breakdowns. If you look at the pie chart to your left and also to the pie chart to your right, it breaks down this community in the parcels as it relates to residential, personal, commercial, and industrial. And also, this is a great year. We haven't had, since 2011, $1 billion of taxable value in our city. This year, we eclipsed that. That really shows the level of growth and understanding that this community is on the rise and we're generating revenue. Now, when we talk about the level of increases in our city, the Headley Amendment from the state of Michigan caps our taxes. So therefore, we are capped at a level of taxes, but not taxable value in our city. Let me move this back a little bit. The microphone's pretty hot. But definitely these are signs and indications that we're rising, and this is a great, great movement for our city and our residents therein. Some of the tax-exempt properties inside our city that we still have to provide a high level of service for: churches, governmental entities, hospitals, nonprofits, and schools, and also philanthropic organizations. Though they're very vital instruments inside of our community, they do not pay property taxes or pay into the general bucket of these things. Now, in the hospitals, we have a pilot, payment in lieu of taxes, and these are some of the things that we structure in our system to make sure that everybody puts a little bit into the system. But churches, government, hospitals, and schools, they still do not provide a level of revenue for the city of Flint, but they do provide a lot in our social structure. Strategic budgeting and goals for our city. A budget is nothing more than a snapshot of the priorities in which we all hear from. Being one of the 10 elected officials in this community, we hear from our constituents at a high level of what the priorities are. And these are what the priorities that they have set out and set forth: blight elimination, infrastructure development, water stabilization, economic development, and safety. These 5 pillars that I just said are the prioritizations that we put forth in this 2026 strong budget. And we put a lot of resources into those categories. And some of these things came by way of recommendations from you, the council members, by way of recommendation from your constituents in which we all serve. Budget key point: community impact and services, key investments and priorities, pension systems and stabilization, revenues and expenditures, and strategic overview. As I said, as Barack Obama said as well, a budget is nothing more than a series of numbers on a page that embodies our values. And here in the city of Flint, we have a lot of great values, and residents deserve a lot of great services. And this budget, this very strong 2026 budget, recognizes those priorities. Budget snapshot. General fund revenues totaled $64 million. Also, general fund expenditures totaled $68 million. One of the things, when I sat in that seat as a council person for about the better part of a decade, I understood what administrations used to do in those in those budget presentations. Sometimes they over-projected with the general fund revenues and under-projected in the revenue expenditures. We played it very, very tight. The $64 million in which you see are the dollars that we had in hand and in pocket. Since that time, we have more revenues based upon the grant applications and the grant opportunities that we had as a city of Flint with our federal government, state government, and also our philanthropic community, and those dollars are still rolling in. So our general fund revenues is a little bit more than $64 million, and also our general fund expenditures is a very robust look at what we have in obligations. Many of you are going to be having dialogues with our budget hearings, and we're going to be talking about some of the things that have expired, the debts that we have in front of us. One of these debts is $1 million that we have with the 67th, 5th edition of the court system, which a contract was signed by the emergency manager. The emergency manager signed into position $1 million to be able to be paid to the court system with Genesee County. That MOU is up of September of this year. We are not obligated to put that forward this year. We put it in the budget as far as one of our expenditures in good faith as we negotiate with the county, but definitely we have to do so as a good body, and having good, fruitful dialogue is very important. Our court systems, our judicial system is very important to the city of Flint and also the county. So we looked at it, but we definitely, these things are not obligated in contract, but we put it as good faith in our expenditure. But that is $1 million there. No increase to our millage rate. As I talked about the Headley Amendment, we're capped at a certain level with our millage rate. So millage rates are not going up inside the city of Flint, but it's a combination and a formula based upon the value of your property. But you were capped at a certain level here in the city of Flint. Millage rates are not going up. But definitely what is going up inside the city of Flint is about the personnel to provide a high level of service for residents of this great community. Right now, we're going to be looking at, in this 2026 budget, taking our staffing levels to 648 people. That means we can provide a high level of service, whether it's in the water, street maintenance, services for residents, police and fire. Our residents deserve the best. And we're moving that into this budget. And in this great budget, we're providing a high level of service to be able to support the needs of our community. And we look at general fund revenues, and we're looking at some of the other places that we're generating dollars and cents. One of the things I want to highlight in this budget is that we started about 3 years ago with the income tax collection inside the city of Flint at a more robust level. Income tax collection inside the city of Flint has always been something here. If you live and work inside the city of Flint, income tax is 1% for those individuals who live and work here. If they work here in the city of Flint and live outside of the city of Flint, the income tax collection is 0.5. Now, but it's been very difficult for the city of Flint to be able to make these individuals pay income tax in many aspects. During the occupation of the emergency managers, they deconstructed our city in many departments. That department that we outsourced it to, we pay about $600,000 a year when they give us one personnel to be able to go out to try to collect income tax revenue. And that's unrealized dollars to us, but it's dollars duly owed to this community. We've negotiated the terms with the state of Michigan, and through our lobbying efforts and our state legislators, we've been able to come to an agreement with the state of Michigan that they will take on the obligation of collecting our income tax. Earlier this year, they did a snapshot of it. And so we looked at about maybe 6,000 entities that have not paid income tax into the city of Flint that's duly owed. With that level of revenue, it's probably another $2 to $3 million on the table that's owed to the city of Flint that we've never been able to capture. This model has been done in the city of Detroit, and they've been able to generate additional revenue that's been owed to that community. And we have tied into this, and we will now move forward with this new negotiated term and agreement with the state of Michigan for them to be able to assist us in collecting the income tax that is duly owed to this community. And that is one revenue stream that's going to be coming in, and it's going to be a blessing to this community, nothing more or nothing less than a blessing. Marijuana tax revenue. Marijuana is the biggest deal Michigan has seen with the legalization of recreational marijuana use. We have now perfected and produced a good licensing opportunities for those entities that want to come into the city of Flint to be able to do this. We generate additional revenue in that space. This year's revenue sharing from just that is a little bit more than $500,000, probably $648,000 to our operation and also to the business sector. Also, as these new businesses come, not only are they paying into a revenue share, but also they're paying taxes into our overall base that goes toward that new total of a number of more than $1 billion of taxable revenue, taking obsolete, desolate property now rezoned to be able to facilitate this new business model. We're generating new property taxes and new income from that level of thinking. This is about an operational move versus a financial move, but definitely we are benefiting. I'm very proud to say with this 2026 budget, over the last 6 years, we have not laid off any workers. We've just been able to increase salaries for those workers, and we continue to engage in our rate study, wage study, getting individuals the dollars and cents for their talent and skills that they deserve. General fund expenses. These are some of the expenses that we have, and some of the largest expenses that we have is our public safety areas, our police and fire, which is our largest group of individuals and employees inside the city of Flint. We've been able to enhance the level of service and also be able to provide a better wage for those individuals. Our recruitment policies were antiquated. In 2007, the standard was set for our recruits on how much we paid them. In 2022, I doubled that. I increased it by 50% so we can get a better pool of talent to be able to recruit more police and fire officers. So we took it from a standard that was antiquated back in 2007, moved it up in 2022, and now we can recruit and be able to support those individuals in those noble careers in police and fire as they support residents inside the city of Flint. Projects in health and human services, finance, and general government operations. We have to be able to attract the best, to be able to provide the best for our residents in this great community. Even though they counted Flint out many years ago, as you guys know this, when we work together, we are powerful. We are powerful. And so those general fund expenditures in those categories, and there's that pie chart as you take a look at, that's where we look at. And we take a look at our public safety areas and we talk about police. We have right now currently in this new budget, 2026 strong budget, 162 police personnel. We have civilian personnel that operates inside of those areas as well to be able to provide support services for law enforcement officers as they go out and engage in the product of providing safe streets for our families and our friends and our neighbors. We have 116 sworn officers. Now, over the last 6 years or so, we've hired probably more than 90 officers to keep up with the pace of retirement and people transitioning out to other law enforcement agencies. We've been able to recruit through the good view of making sure we provide a level of bonuses and sign-on bonuses, and thank you, council, for passing that. That has been proven to be very effective, and also wage increases for those law enforcement officers. So we have 116 sworn officers, new contracts, wage increase. We also now have a cold case unit, which is by far the best in the state of Michigan. We have, we call it, we have workshops here, Sapphire, the name slipped me for a moment, but Sapphire, all the cold cases, rape kits, we now are able to go back in the cold case to resolve these cases and to bring these people to justice. They won't just be able to get away and think that it's over. We're now hunting these individuals down, and they have 100% cold case rate as they go into it with our project that's been developed here in the city of Flint, and now we're guiding the rest of the state of Michigan. Our gun bounty project, right? When we first came here in 2019, the city of Flint participated in a gun sale. Every gun that was taken off the streets, every officer that risked their life to get the guns out of those people that were using these guns for nefarious activities and taking them off the street was going back to auction. I, for one, took it personal. De facto, we are not a gun dealer. Municipalities, villages, and townships should not be engaged in gun sales. We have gun dealers, gun stores that can also produce that, but definitely these guns should not be repopulated back into operation. When I say I take it personally, the number one cause of death in America now for Black men is gun violence. That is a level of genocide and a level of sickness. It was declared a mental health issue, a public health issue by then President Joe Biden. I believe in that, but definitely we will never, ever or should be involved in gun sales. Every gun that comes to this community that we take off the street and take out of the hands of those individuals who do not possess them legally or will use them to harm people should be destroyed. So gun bounty programs have been going very well. Those projects ran by our Chief of Police, Terrence Green, and his team, Captain Urquhart, and also others, the Deputy Chief, Jeff Ancliffe, I'm sorry. He's going to tease me about that later. But definitely, they've been doing a fantastic at getting guns off the street. And also now we're starting to receive the benefit of that because our rates of violent crime is down as it relates to gun violence. Partnerships that we always must engage in. I talk about prayer, planning, and partnership, looking for our partnerships and those assets that's been sent here from the state of Michigan, Michigan police officers, opioid task force, and adding new additional programs to be able to come up with ways to reduce crime and making our streets safer. That is all reflected in this very, very strong 2026 budget. Public safety. Over the past few years, we've been able to engage and get new apparatuses for our firefighters to be able to battle fires inside the city of Flint. We have 4 new firefighting apparatuses and other equipment inside the city of Flint. But also we've been able to increase wages in that department and also to increase staff. In this budget that's before you, you will see an increase from 84 to 95, adding 11 new positions and also more training opportunities for that, and also outreach to youth programs and also being recognized in the state of Michigan. And I want to give a special shout out to Vice President Candace Mashat and also Council President Dr. Liddell Lewis for spearheading a lot of movement in that civilian space to be able to get smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors into the homes of residents where we can actually save and perfect the opportunity to save lives in that. And we've been recognized statewide for what we've been doing in that area. Also, I want to recognize Councilman Pfeiffer as it relates to this idea. This idea came up by a conversation that Councilman Pfeiffer and I had a couple years ago about making sure that we had medical transport units inside the city of Flint. Right now, the way that it was previously operated inside the 33-unit government inside of Genesee County, private companies operated. But when it was reported to me and then also communicated to Councilman Pfeiffer that we were in a critical state each and every day when we woke up because it was not enough ambulances to cover the full Genesee County, that minimum wait times was a half an hour wait. And if you ever had needed a medical transport unit for a medical emergency, heart attacks, strokes, or any other thing, a half an hour can mean a loss of life. And one of the things that we know that we can never recover from is a death deficit. When we lose a life, that life is lost. So we wanted to make sure that we invested in life-saving measures. So we bought 3 ambulances. So with our paramedic training, we're now upping the staffing level in those areas, providing additional training to firefighters to be able to respond. Since we put those operations of major medical transport units into position, we have responded to more than 2,100 calls inside the city of Flint. Congratulations, Councilman Pfeiffer, for bringing that to the attention and also making sure that residents would have a place to call and 911 would respond to them. And we have more work to do, but this 2026 strong budget recognizes what the priorities is inside the city of Flint, increasing quality of life and also maintaining life in the event of trouble. And we've just billed over $1 million in services, meaning that the initial investment is yielding more dollars than we actually invested in it. So each one of these units costs around, outfitted with all the tools and technologies that's inside of them, costs about maybe 200 grand in that element. To have these 3 units, 2 units are active, 1 unit's in standby, making sure that if 1 unit goes down, we can be able to respond. But that's an initial investment of $600,000. We've already eclipsed the initial investment by saving lives and also by $400,000 when we're looking at the budget items. Blight elimination is something that we talked about, we always talk about inside the city of Flint. It took us decades to get into the position that we're in. The blighted structures coming down from 250,000 in population, the structures that we had here, this sitting idle and will sit there to rot in our communities. and the illegal dumping and the disrespect to our home. But now we have expanded staffing and resources, buying equipment. We've done so with in compliance and also with conferment from the city council to buy the level of equipment that we have. Now we have dump trucks, garbage trucks, backhoes, and all the tools to be able to go out and clean. And Arnold Brown and his team has been doing a fantastic job. In our blight division, we have about 15 individuals that's out there daily engaging in cleanups every day. But what we have to do as a community and as an elected body, we have to make sure that people respect our home. We can't have people driving in from the out-county area dumping garbage into our community, or those that may live here that's disrespecting our community by dumping. We have engaged in a partnership with Crime Stoppers and all residents that we put a bounty out for those individuals. You've been here, we forfeited a few vehicles, we've jailed a few individuals, we paid a lot of bounties to make sure our community is free of these individuals that would disrespect our home by dumping garbage. We can clean it up, but we have to clean it up and keep it clean and not allow people to dump in our community. And we've been doing so. Chief Green teases me when I say this, that we're going to take a hard line. We're not bluffing. We've generated tens of thousands of dollars with our blight court. We have our NSO officers, and we're still working to get more good individuals in that space. We work with our NSO officers. They're writing citations and tickets and giving those individuals tickets for blight violations, and we're cleaning up our city. So we're working very hard, and we're using all the resources and revenues that we can to pursue a cleaner, better, and safer city, and this 2026 budget reflects that. Increase the blight elimination and the mitigation of blight. If you could take a look at the pie, not pie chart, but the scale here, in 2022, we have increased 6 times the amount of investment that we are investing in our blight. In this 2026 budget, you see where we were investing about $1.2 million or $2.2 million into the blight elimination. And a lot of those dollars are not just municipal dollars generated from the property tax or income tax, but those are the grants that come in from our federal government and also our state government to be able to assist us in this area. And one of the things when we talk about having a better city, this is what we talk about, economic growth and economic development. And that's why we are seeing more than $1 billion of taxable value in our city, because people are coming here to relocate personally and also to relocate their business. More than $2.5 billion of commercial investment has been obligated and committed to the city of Flint, and we could have not done so if we were not working in these areas. And so I want to give another great shout out to Arnold Brown, who is over our blight elimination program. Infrastructure and development. Last year, we were able to pave more than 28 miles of road in our city. This strong budget in 2026 continues on that pace. We hear people talk about the roads and the infrastructure and the sidewalks that we have inside the city of Flint. Right now, we have our pothole patrol teams out there right now. They're patrolling right now the 4th Ward, the 5th Ward. That was the instruction given this week. They've already did the 1st Ward and the 2nd Ward. But we have pothole patrol because we have a hotline number that people can call, because we don't know where the potholes are automatically. We have to be identified. They have to be identified, and also they have to be told where they are, and then we can go out there and patch them with cold patch, hot patch. But definitely, we want to pave more streets and more roads. Every year, the exercise from council people, and this is how we structured it, and this is how I perfected the opportunity to be able to say that I sat in those seats for about a decade, to say that when you guys recommend a street for repaving, regrading, and also building a road back, it takes about a year out. So when you give that recommendation in 2024, it probably should happen in 2025 or early part of 2026, based upon the revenues that we have. Other revenues that comes to play when we talk about sidewalk programs and different things of that nature, the 50-50 program this year, I'm happy to say that we introduced a 50-50 program, a 75-25 program, and a 100% program, using a bouquet of revenue streams to support that activity in those areas. We have a lot of sidewalks that's out of compliance inside the city of Flint, but definitely I need the recommendations and also the dialogue from council to make sure that we perfect this in an organized triage way inside the city of Flint. And in this budget, we will do more than we did last year. Last year, we did 28 miles of road. Street light and waste collection. I didn't want to go too far. Let me go back. Streetlights is something that we look at every year that we pay money to our provider, our energy provider, which is Consumers Energy. In this budget, in 2026, we want to move to and upgrade our system. In this budget, you will see money, $2.8 million into replacing all street lights inside the city of Flint, moving from an incandescent bulb to a LED bulb, making it brighter and more cost efficient. Also erecting more than 300 new poles inside the city of Flint. Often we get areas that we say they don't have enough street lighting, but we will definitely, in this budget, erect 300 to 500 new poles inside the city of Flint. The way that we pay for it is going to pay for itself. $2.8 million is going into this operation of replacing the LED lighting. Currently, right now, we pay about $88,000 a month to our provider, Consumer Energy, for those street lights. Once the LED lights are engaged in the operation, it would take our bill from $88,000 to about $41,000. The $41,000 over an aggregate of about maybe 7 years or so will repay our system for the initial investment. But moving forward, we will have a stronger, more lit community, and more lighting reduces crime and violence in our community as well. So this is a twofold investment: better infrastructure, better lighting, less crime. That's represented in this 2026 very, very strong budget. Economic development and growth. When we look at economic development and growth inside the city of Flint, my whole life as I live here, economic disenfranchisement has been pushed on the northern portions of our city, which is predominantly populated by African Americans or minority community. Economic disenfranchisement down the poverty corridor or North Saginaw or ML King, we haven't had much life there. After Buick City closed, we lost about 28,000 jobs at its heyday. Now we're seeing that site redeveloped. As the picture that you see there is the corner of the new building that's there, which is Ashley Capital, $300 million investment. Since that time, they have engaged 2 new partners, Nanograph with another $128 million investment, Victory Packaging, another level of investment. And next week, we'll be announcing another partner in that aspect. So we have economic growth, new development, and good paying jobs, union, high wage jobs in these areas, and economic growth and development in the northern portions of our community. One of the things when we have a county, when we have 33 units of government, they are our neighbors, but we have to view them in a different capacity in some aspects. They are also our competition. When businesses come to the state of Michigan and look at places to land and grow, they can't compare to the city of Flint. We are there. So we have to get over the misnomer of those things that held us back. And now we need to move into the area in which we are Flint strong. And so when we talk about, when they come into our planning, zoning, licensing, development program, it has to be like a concierge service. It has to make businesses feel welcome to this community and provide them with the necessary tools and resources to be able to develop and grow in our community. This is something that we took on and we developed that. We moved from 35 employees to 50 full-time employees in this area to be able to enhance business growth. This 2026 budget is taking us way over the top for this level of service and this economic growth. And we're realizing that now with the level of opportunity that we have. And so, and also some of the highlights that we have when we talk about economic growth and development. We want to take our community. At one time, we had about 50% of rentership here. 50% of the people who lived inside the city of Flint were renters, not homeowners. I believe when we talk about transitional wealth, and also owning and having an opportunity to have a level of a good investment, we need to own more things in our community. We've included in this budget down payment assistance for those individuals that want to buy a home in a community but may need a little help to get over it. ARP, American Rescue Plan, the homeowner repair programs in which we're engaging now. We have other 3 partners, and then also we are engaging this internally now. And also partnering with our public housing sector. Public housing did not only operate the housing structures that you know, but they had scattered housing throughout the community. Those scattered housing, because of financial issues, they have not been maintained to a high level to be able to place people in there. But we've secured grants in the area to be able to rehab these houses, to be able to put good families into these communities and make it a home for them. Flint is our home. We are Flint strong. The pension system. The pension fund was the boogeyman for this community. We came here in November of 2019. The city of Flint was scheduled to go bankrupt or be insolvent in 2020, April. God has blessed us for many opportunities through a way that we constructed a way for our operational audits to be able to engage this. But our pension system was ballooning and was ballooning out of control, that at this time it was scheduled to be at a $38 million payment if we had not restructured the way that we pay it, which is more than 50% of the revenues, saying that we could not provide a level of service for our residents. However, now, after coming in 2019, the pension system being at a 27% funded, we are just about 68% funded and growing, meaning that every retiree from the city of Flint can honor the promise to the firefighters or the police officers or the widows of those individuals, that those promises that were made are now kept, that we can keep that pension system strong and it's moving forward. For all the workers that we have now that's currently in the system, their pension is going to be there when they retire. That is a commitment that we made as a community. It is our job, and it's a great opportunity to be able to say that we are moving forward, making our system stronger, keeping our promises to the residents. And so that is why we should be very proud of this budget. Now we've secured about $182 million that's already been placed into the pension system. Another $18 million is on the way, and we're in negotiations for the rest of the dollars that was committed through legislative changes in the state of Michigan to be able to get us to this point. We're not the only one that was in this bucket in the system. We saw the city of Detroit go through this and the restructuring of their system, but they restructured in a way that was a detriment to the retirees in that city. We've been able to do it without the detrimental effects to those families. We should be very proud of the work that we've done. This 2026 strong budget is going to continue to move forward and make us stronger. Now, we got budget hearings scheduled, Madam Chair, they're being scheduled with you and our Philip Moore, our finance personnel, and we're going to be here, and we'll be looking forward to more questions and engagement. And we'll be looking forward to perfecting this more in a better way. I view you all as partners. You all have a level of engagement and input that we can actually continue to make this budget better and better and stronger. I continue to extend a level of an olive branch in this way. I know what it takes to make a successful community, and I congratulate you all, because Flint was in the ER. It was in the ICU. It was on a respirator. But now we're stronger, we're better. And even in this chamber that you sit in now, as you take a look at the new wall and the way that we are and the new structure that we have and all the great things that we have in this community, take a bow, because we're all in this together. And the city of Flint is stronger, better, and this 2026 and unprecedented 6th consecutive balanced budget is now introduced to you. Thank you, guys, and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your presentation. We appreciate your coming down and presenting your
Madam Chair?
vision. Yes,
If it's okay with the mayor, can we have like a 3-minute round? There's only 5 of us here.
I would engage that with a partnership level. Let's go with the minute round because we have budget hearings coming up, and I want to be able to do that. But I don't want to walk out with your requests there left on the table. But I don't want to be staying. What I will answer questions as it pertains germane to this budget as we move forward. And I'll do a
Okay.
minute. I'll do a minute round.
1 3-minute round.
I make that motion.
One minute round.
One-
Okay,
one minute
one
round.
minute round.
Yeah.
Okay, there was a motion on the floor by Mr. Pfeiffer for a 1-minute round of discussion. Is there any support?
Support.
It's been supported by Ms. Burns. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett is not in. Mr. Alamin is not in. Vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. Who would like to
Yeah, I'll take
begin
it.
discussion? Go ahead, Mr. Pfeiffer.
Thank you for letting us have 1 minute. So that's not a level of partnership for one. So, you mentioned the back taxes, that there potentially was $2 million. Is that an annual number? And are we doing anything to collect on those back taxes, or are we just waiting for the state of Michigan to start receiving those?
Well, no, it's annual, right? And so we looked at between $2 and $3 million, right? When we did a snapshot of what we have on our roads.
So we have planned to collect the back ones, the entities that you said weren't registered?
Yes, and it's not registered. They just weren't paying and yielding the dollars that they owed to the city of Flint in those back taxes.
Okay.
And so
My next question is back water bills. What are we doing to collect on that? Because that is a monumental number. And I got 10 seconds.
no, I'm gonna give you a little bit more on that one because it's a great question. Because right now, as we look at it right now, of unpaid water bills, we have a lot of water bills are unpaid, and I did bring that data sheet here. We talk about unrealized and uncaptured water bills. We have about $27 million in uncollected water bills for active accounts. That means accounts that are still engaged, and it's about $27 million. And that's just not residential. That's scattered in there, commercial and other entities. And then we have about another $15 million in non-active accounts, right? And so we've been working a solution with that $42 million that's uncollected to the city of Flint. We're working through ways to be able to try to collect that. But one of the important pieces in order to try to collect those dollars is very difficult because you can't get, as they used to say, you can't get blood from a rock, right? And so we first have to look at our water rate study and then be able to try to be able to roll cost of water, the commodity, which I believe is a human right, back, and then also be able to sustain and freeze the level of and the cost of that commodity to residents. But definitely we are still engaging that each and every week we're trying to collect from those individuals that we can collect from using the measurements that's provided by ordinance inside the city of Flint. But we definitely want to be gentle in some cases and more aggressive in others. But definitely we're working to try to collect that unrealized dollars that we have on our books, which is $42 million. And we're working very hard to do that. But if you have any recommendations when we go through our budget hearing about how we should try to be able to recapture those dollars from those residents inside the city of Flint, we'll be more than open to entertain that conversation and that dialogue.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Neely, for being here. 1 minute's not a lot, but one of the things that plagues our community, and I did not see, and I have been saying it for years, a comprehensive public safety plan with the gang task force. We had someone today, I believe, was shot, and we're getting our teenagers and our children shot at an alarming rate. Will we have one, a gang task force? And that should come out, I believe, the chief's budget. My other question is opioid plan. We do not have an opioid plan. We have a mother that's back there and she was here asking for help. And it's common. We talk about fentanyl roll, which people call it fentanyl roll because of the drug trafficking, the human trafficking, and women have gone missing. And we know that that's a drug alley. So will you be having, or will you create a opioid plan? Because I think we've got over 6 million in opioid money, and I don't know how much is still coming.
Yeah, thank you for that, Councilman Burns. But, and I love that question because it gives me opportunity to set the record straight on this. Many of the statements that you made were maybe because you have light information in that category. We do have a crime reduction plan because we have been reducing crime. And part of that plan is about, the social spaces that we gather in. We have a juvenile crime reduction plan that we've been engaging in. And also we have another engagement plan as it relates to adults. When I talk about taking guns off the streets and out of the hands of those individuals that could be using them, that has been an effective plan with our gun bounty program and also our cold case unit that we have been engaging in. And that has been an activity and that is displayed in the 2026 budget. When we talk about crime reduction and just juvenile ratios, providing young people with opportunities and spaces to be able to be engaged in positive activities. Our engagement and our recast has been definitely one of the bigger things that we've been doing to be able to engage with our partners in those social spaces, to be able to work with those young people, to give them opportunities. Also, the job proposal that's currently in front of you as council, taking those kids out of those spaces, when they have 5 additional hours when school is down, to be able to have summer jobs and activity as a part of a crime reduction plan that Chief Green and his team has put together. And it is working each and every day. The opioid dollars is just about $5 million, not $6 million, but definitely it is being engaged in different activities to be able to help and support activities inside the city of Flint. One being, which I just described, is the ambulance service, and we use those dollars. 30% of those dollars in the opioid fund can be used and digested right into the general fund for general fund operations wherever we deem to see fit as a team, council and administration. 70% goes directly to opioid partnerships. We're looking at partnerships with organizations that's better suited to be able to engage those spaces. But definitely we've been buying fentanyl testing strips, giving those out. I said people sometimes they want to get high, they don't want to die, and we've been able to make sure that we can get them to treatment. We've invested monies in respite programs, also with Insight, providing beds for those that's suffering from the disease of addiction. I believe addiction is a disease, and giving them treatment versus jail sentences is very, very a noble thing to do as we use those dollars. So we have those things, and it's very much outlaid in the 2026 very strong budget that we have. But I would love to be able to see and have that dialogue with you in the budget hearing to be able to talk about how we can engage more with partnership, helping those families through the level of addiction. Those what those dollars are engaged in. And I wished when you and I were teenagers that they had a plan like this when crack cocaine infested our city and exploded in our communities and destroyed some families and some of our friends. But definitely these things are engaged in a social way with our social partners to be able to have a level of control with those that are suffering from with the disease of addiction, and they are there, and definitely we are engaging in those spaces.
Thank you. Anyone else? And I am giving grace for, the mayor set the 1 minute timeline up. He's going over, I'm allowing it to happen. I did. I mean, he went over, you had 1 minute for your question answer. Anyone else? Go ahead, Dr. Lewis.
Thank you. So Mayor, again, I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate your time. I know that you work diligently to serve the city. And so I'm going back to your statement when you talk about prayer, planning, and partnership. How do we go about making recommendations? We hear individuals talk to you about a plan this, a plan that. As a co-equal branches of government, it is our responsibility to work with you in that elected mayoral office to come up with the plan for our constituents. And so with that being said, so how do we go about making recommendations for, like, say, opioid spending? So if we have questions about it, if we want to know what that looks like, how do we go about planning that with you? If we want to talk about, just other issues within your budget, but I'm going to stick with the opioids since we do have that set amount of money here. How do we go about engaging in that space with you?
Well, a more official way, we can engage in the budget hearings and talk about the opportunity to be able to put that plan forth. But I believe each and every one of you who's sitting here today has been down to my office to have dialogue about it. I talked about Councilman Pfeiffer talking about the ambulance service. Councilman Burns has been down there discussing things in our office about a 6-ward plan for your community. The Vice President Candace Machad has been there to talk about fire apparatuses. Councilman Judy Priestley is there on time every week for our weekly meetings, and sometimes I'm not there on time. And also you, Council President Dr. Liddell Lewis, we remain to have an open door policy for all of you, in which if you want to engage, make the call. We can have that dialogue. Each and every one of you has my number, and we can engage in this in a positive way, making sure that we can be able to put to ease some fears and some anxiety about what it is. And so when we do these great things, and I like to say, in this space, we have receipts. We are benefiting now. The residents are benefiting. And sometimes you have people that's maybe a little bit hostile about the way they engage or misinformed about some of the things that they have in front of them. But definitely we have to maintain our focus. We serve in the capacity as what I call enhanced citizens. Citizens ourselves, but we're enhanced because we represent other citizens. And sometimes you run into people that may be frustrated about what is going on in their lives or whatever, but we have to be able to perform and function a partnership, and we will maintain that level of communication whenever you want it.
Thank you.
Do you have anything?
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you for joining us. Really quick question, and mine is around the water rates and the fact that there is a resolution before us that we've attempted twice now, and we're trying to avoid that 5.9% rate increase being passed on to residents. But in the interim, that's only going to maybe serve us for about a year. So does your budget address what happens after that year is up? And how do we not pass on that 5.9% rate hike?
Right. In many terms, it's going to be more than 5.9% to the end users, which is each and every one of us, the end users for businesses and residential. This stabilization piece goes into position for this 2026 budget with outlook on 2027, gives us time to be able to re-engage the space to be able to negotiate this. In 2017, a contract was signed into position with the Gleewood Water System. That contract was 30 years. Any contract that's 30 years is way beyond any tenure of any elected official that was served. It was a gross lack in critical thinking for them to sign a 30-year deal with an antiquated system when we had another newer system to be able to provide a level of an option for. So just to explain it, when we buy our finished water product from the Gleewood system and they transmit that water down to us, we buy that water globally. That water costs 5.6% more when we buy it as a finished water product. But however, when we transmission that water to our overall end user, it could very well cost more to that end user because, just for example, if you in the 8th Ward paid your bill and you in the 6th Ward did not pay your bill, the bill payer, as we talked about the $42 million is still owed to us, that obligation for the overall global cost for the 6% increase will be bore upon those who are paying inside the system, so the system will not collapse. It is very important for you all to go back, in my opinion, if you have not already reviewed that 30-year contract, to take a look at the failures in that contract. If we fail on that contract or payments to the Gleewood system, they take over all of our operations, the whole operation. The residents of the city of Flint will have a government controlling them that's not of them. That's not what we're here for. So we have to put the stabilization pieces in there to be able to maintain a level of freedom to be able to move forward and be able to engage a better way. 33 units of government inside of Genesee County. There's only one unit of government that's still buying water from the Gleewood system. All others are not. The GCDC system, the Carigani system has had consistent rate reductions for their end user. We're the only ones who are facing rate increases. And to have a contract that says that I can increase your rate to make your load heavier, and if you fail, we take you over. Gross lack in critical thinking, a very, very bad engagement, a very, very bad deal to us. Thank God that we finished in 2022, in August, that month when that system ruptured. These systems age. When you look at the aging system of the structure of the delivery system of that Gleewood system to us, you will see it's older than 80 years old with a lifespan of no more than 90. And that rupture happened and it affected 23 communities down of that rupture. Had we not developed and built our secondary delivery system, we would have been in very, very, very big trouble. Thank God we finished that and we developed that. Thank you, members of council, for putting forth the money. I think that was right before this council. The only one that probably remembers that is Councilman Burns. To see the sort of fight that we had to engage in to be able to get that dollars and be able to get that system up and operational to safeguard our water resources and also the water delivery for our residents. But definitely that aggregate of 5.6 multiplies and doubles in many different ways. If you go to a restaurant, when they place that free commodity on the table, that glass of water, that free commodity to you at that time cost that that service provider 6% more. Maybe they put it into, the growth of a cost on the menu somewhere. So you as an end user at home, you pay more. When you go out to a business in the city, you have to pay more to be able to adjust for that increase. So stabilization dollars are very, very important. And then you can ask any resident inside the city of Flint. They always say, we don't want to pay more. And we have the dollars now to be able to put into a stabilization, into our water fund, to stabilize this, and for all of us to get to the table and figure out a way to reverse water rates inside the city of Flint. I believe water is a human right. I believe costs are too high, but we have to figure out a way to be able to engage this in a better space. And I think Councilman Burns you were there with us when we developed the water rate estimator. And talking about and how to develop the cost and let people understand the cost of what the infrastructure costs us and the cost of water to the end user. And so we need to roll that back.
Thank you. So I'm going to wait for my questions for the budget hearings because they're more individualized. And I want to thank you for your time, and I will close out the special order.
Thank you, and I look forward to our partnership moving forward. God bless you guys.
It's now time for, I'm looking at the wrong agenda. For the public hearing. The public hearing is limited to, I can't remember, is that 2 or 3 minutes? 3 minutes. There's no signing up for any discussion on the public hearing. Please limit your discussion to the budget. If you discuss anything else, you will be asked to relinquish your time.
Hello, I'm Mario L. Mitchell. To friend to talk, respond on Flint strong and the county strong, Flint County strong. And thank God for Mrs. Mashak, Candace Mashak for going and, that was a proof of showing that Flint is strong by going and get the public, the lady to come back before she got on the elevator. And in the 8th Ward, Tarzan had called to get the 5th Ward back for breaking up the forum, because there wouldn't be no Flint strong if it wasn't for them 2 council persons, because there wouldn't be no meeting here tonight. And just like in the days of America down south, you heard what the lady say, and the mayor said something, and she said that's a lie, then she put herself out because
Mr. Mitchell,
down south.
Mr. Mitchell, please, you will have an opportunity to speak on this at another point. This is just for the budget, please.
Oh, the budget?
The budget only.
Oh, the budget is raising Flint water bill higher than it's supposed to be, because if we don't pay the water bill, what the mayor said, they're gonna take over, the government gonna take over Flint, not just the water, take over martial law over the whole city. That's how America rolls. South America rolls down south, and bringing that down south stuff up to Flint. Because if a woman talking about them ambulance service, talking about we got them, the fireman just got the ambulance service, but he don't go out there in Flint Township, and the black woman always she'd rather kill her own babies to keep the public from killing them. Down south, and then when they do, they're blaming on the black woman because they look all, I'm appalled that the black woman killed their own black boy babies in our stuff. It's still going on in America now, and nobody addresses it, but
Mr. Mitchell.
Ms. Byrne addressing it, and nobody, the time run out when
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes. I got plenty of time because it's unlimited. Lady.
Budget only, please.
Oh, budget only. Like they took our stimulus money using it for the water bill and get certain people. But I take that back. I went to the IRS yesterday, but I was told I had a bomb in my pocket. He said, "You got anything on you?" I
Mr.
put a light
Mitchell,
up there. Then I came back and they said I was
Mr. Mitchell, please sit down. Your time is over.
Wow, I can't.
Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council on the budget? Is there anyone else? Anyone else? Hearing none, this ends the public hearing on the budget. It's now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. Box was placed at the entrance to the council chambers for collections of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaking during public comment, with only one speaking opportunity per speaker. Madam Clerk, who is our first speaker?
First speaker is R.L. Mitchell.
I know it. Any topic now, Mr. Mitchell, any topic.
Like I said, my name is R.L. Mitchell. I live on the north side of Flint, 759 East Linden Avenue. And like I was saying, you see, the woman was concerned about that opioid dope situation we got in Flint, and nobody can do nothing about it. And nobody seemed to know. It was all over America, all over the world. But when they put it on Front Street, you decided to put the mayor in front of the public. And they talk and they get out of here like they still ain't. They showing you that they ain't concerned about we the citizen. They get out, they say their stuff and get out, and you back them up talking about you will deal with the rest of it, Miss Priestley. Because you got the money bag, you gonna make sure the mayor go down, and she called the mayor a lie, and you gonna say, that's all right, Mr. Mayor, I'll take care of it. And you see how they couldn't wait to get out of here. See, and whoever that was sitting beside them and all that Madam Judge or whatever she was, and all that stuff. And another thing about this situation about black families, but they say it's all families about that dope situation dying, but particularly the black family, because that's a racial. They say Flint is all black, but a whole lot of brown people's in here too, Mexicans and all that stuff, but they out there dying on that opiate stuff too. But the only woman spoke up in Flint. She left Flint because she didn't want to see her kids die. Went out to Flint Township, and the fireman, like they on Pulaski, killed them 2 Mitchell boys in there. They don't want to deal with that, and they go doing the same thing now, but not addressing the situation. Like Ed Teller and Mr. Moore don't want to come back like he talking that jittery Chinese talk like nobody can understand. He come back in here and Ed Teller wait to all that, and people act like you don't want to. And you see how one person get up and break the forum up right now while people's trying to talk. But again, Ms. Mushak, thank you for speaking up. Didn't give a kick. Your forum was broke, but nobody wanted to call it. But that's because really Flint strong. You and Ward 8 Tarzan, only one got an electric car in the building. And another thing, I thought you was gonna give me a ride the other night, but James Bond disappeared but I see only thing important that you came back in one piece. James Bond always come back in one piece. Look at him over there, curious. And the rooster up the city hall. Madam Chair, are you listening? Hello? Hello? I can go.
Next public speaking.
The next speaker is Lucia Williams. Okay, not in. And the final speaker for this meeting is James Moore.
Once again, James Moore from the 2nd Ward. I hope you guys can hear me. I got 3 minutes. Can we just make it somebody up there to make it kind of understandable? In the city of Flint, we all feel that the water rates are very high. A lot of us wish that they would come down. Can we find some medium ground? I mean, between
0 and 10, we should be able to at least come together on 5 and figure out something. It's like I don't want the state to come in and take over the water, because hell, we know what that happened with the emergency managers. We just need to make it more understandable for the people of the city of Flint. And maybe then some water bills will get paid. Didn't take that long. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you. That's the end of public speaking. And council members will have 2 minutes to respond to members of the public. Is there anyone who wishes to take that time?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. And to the public speakers and for those who stayed, we were granted 1 minute. I mean, literally 1 minute. And our community faces more than 1 minute issues. That's just a fact. And so when we say we want transparency, then we're transparent and we open up for dialogue, because there are some issues. And the public has a good reason to not trust anyone, because the public was told the water was okay for 18 months. We're going on 11 years, and all service lines and restorations are not complete. And so, to me, you have to have, if you want us all to trust and not everything behind closed doors, today was civil. And let's have some dialogue so that we can see that the mayor is working with the council. No one was disrespectful. There's questions about opioids, serious questions. And I don't like doing everything, because the public needs to know. You know, and we talk about the public safety plan, comprehensive, and we still have, this past weekend, we had 3 people shot, I think at Riker Manor. I think 2, 1 fatal, 2 critical. We had someone today. And so when we talk about, one thing I will say, Early Hospital is very good at saving lives now, because they have had so many gunshot victims. And that, to me, is something we have to still talk about. And our young people, we do not have a gang task force. They don't care about a gun buyback. They could care less. Them guns on the street, they get ghost guns, straw guns. They don't care. And that, to me, I'm gonna still say, we need a comprehensive public safety plan.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else on council? See none, that ends council response.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I mean, so I did have a comment, but since you
Oh,
closed it
go
out,
ahead.
I wasn't
No,
quick enough.
I-
Go ahead, it's fine.
Without objection, I'll allow you to do public comment. Any objection?
I object.
Okay. All right, so go ahead, Miss Dr. Lewis, you had the floor. We're not doing the council response, but did you have anything else that you wanted? Okay. Anyone else? All right, seeing none. Motion on the floor to adjourn by Mr. Pfeiffer. Is there support?
Support.
It's been supported by Ms. Burns. Roll call.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is absent. Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer? Yes. Mr. Jarrett is absent. Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.